AI, Peace and War, Chapter 1. The Birds at NORAD. November 24th, 1960. Midnight had only just swallowed its own tail when the first blip appeared. Tiny, tremulous, a heartbeat of light on the vast green face of the radar globe. Sergeant Ellis Whitaker leaned closer, cigarette forgotten between his knuckles. The smoke curled like a question mark above the console. Echo Lima 4-2, he murmured, voice low enough that only the humming fluorescence could overhear. Altitude 4,000. No, 5. Christ, it's climbing. Around him, the operations bay at NORAD felt suddenly cavernous, as though the mountain had exhaled and left every man inside smaller. Steel desks, ticking clocks, the faint metallic smell of chilled air. Nothing extraordinary, except that the world balanced on this room tonight. Balanced and teetered. Whitaker's pulse answered the radar's pulse. He tasted copper, the way you taste fear before you name it. Then, the blip multiplied. 3, 7, 12. Each dot blossomed like frost on glass, spreading outward, southwest, the exact vector a Soviet ICBM flight path would have kissed on a map. The room inhaled. Someone dropped a mug. Porcelain shards skittered like startled mice. Major Harlan Pike stepped into the glare of the screen, coat half-buttoned, hair still wet from the officer's shower block. His eyes, pale as winter sky, flicked across the grid. Confirm, Whitaker. Confirm, sir. Range 200 miles. Speed Mach 3.2. Bearing. He swallowed. Bearing dead on. Dead on. The phrase landed like a verdict. Harlan's fingers tightened around the clipboard. Its edges bit his skin. He saw, in the green glow, the silhouette of Denver beyond the mountain. Neon signs, sleeping suburbs, his wife Ruth warming milk for the cat. All of it, a candle someone might snuff. Protocol was simple. If the tally reached 15 birds, NORAD would scramble. SAC bombers would lift from silos in Nebraska, Missouri, Wyoming. Missiles would spin awake underground, steel flowers, waiting for sunlight that would never come. Harlan knew the drill. He'd rehearsed it in dreams so often, the words had worn smooth. Alert condition red. Presidential notification. Retaliation window 90 minutes. Now the count climbed. 16. 17. The radar console hissed, a serpent tasting air. Whitaker's voice cracked. Sir, we've got a full salvo. Looks like... He couldn't finish. A hush thicker than wool settled. Even the ventilators seemed to hesitate. Harlan felt time stretch, elastic and cruel. Each second a thread pulled from his own spine. He pictured Ruth's face, imagined the telephone ringing at 0113. After the flash, after the silence. Somewhere in the dark above Wyoming, sleepy men would button jackets, whisper prayers to engines. He reached for the red handset tethered to the wall. One turn of the crank would connect him to Offutt, to SAC, to Armageddon on a leash. His thumb hovered over the switch, tremoring like a moth. And then, nothing. The dots wavered, not advancing so much as shivering, as if embarrassed by their own arrival. Harlan squinted. The vectors blurred. The neat missile arc sagged into something looser, wobbly. Birds, he thought absurdly, the way a drowning man thinks of shores. Whitaker, check the scatter pattern. Overlie weather. Whitaker's fingers flew across switches. A new layer painted itself across the globe. Migratory geese, fat-bellied with winter, threading south on thermals. Their wings caught radar pulses the same way aluminium did. Accidental metal, accidental war. Harlan let the handset slip back into its cradle. The mountain breathed again. Somewhere, a clock resumed ticking. 17 birds, but no bombers, no sirens, no Ruth screaming into a black sky. The room exhaled in ragged pieces. Whitaker laughed, one short bark, almost a sob, and stubbed out his cigarette on the console's edge. Harlan turned away before anyone saw his eyes shine. Outside, first light bruised the ridge, lavender bleeding into steel. Peace, for now, wore feathers and flew.